You got to have your plans. How are you going to do this? How are you going to stay in the trade? How are you going to get out of the trade? What are your targets? What are the things you're looking for? Not necessarily profit targets, but what are the things you're looking for? What do you want to see before you take the trade off?
This is the How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast, brought to you by 10MinuteStockTrader.com, where we cover finance, stocks, options, entrepreneurship, education, and money. And here's your host, voted one of the top 100 people in finance, Christopher Ewell. If you're looking to create a bulletproof trading plan, then you need to get the Bullish Power Cheat Sheet. This holds the secrets that you've been looking for. You can get it completely for free at 10MinuteStockTrader.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, and watch all of our past episodes.
Good afternoon, traders. Happy June 22nd, year of our Lord 2023. We have a lot to do today, a lot of trading to plan. But real quick, before we jump in, I did mention that if I took the trade in XLK, I would send you a Discord notification, which I did do yesterday. So this came in after we closed the stream, but I did want to remind you that we did pick up puts in XLK and pick up puts in KRE, as well as we had gotten puts in PIN earlier on in the day. I had found an issue with my backtest after the stream ended, and I was like, oh, yeah, I knew I had seen it, had seen KRE positive, and I was like, I got to pick this up. The only thing with XLK is it does have about 54% extrinsic value, which is more than as you know, that does break my rules a little bit. But based on what I could see, that was the only strike that had liquidity, and I did not want to miss that trade. So I figured I would pony up a little bit for the extrinsic value. And you know what? I position sized it appropriately, so we'll just see what happens. So let's move into our market analysis. The plan, as it is every day, is to start with our existing positions, look at what we have on, see if we need to take anything off, then move into any new trades that we're going to put on, which I think we're going to be putting on at least 2 today, and then our final thoughts. So let's jump right into it. All right, welcome to the 10-minute trading room. This is how to trade only 10 minutes a day and exactly how to take the guesswork out of trading. Now, we have been changing with our new outlier trading strategy from our old 10 minutes to freedom trading strategy. And the reason why is, give me a second here. The reason why are, oh man, there, oh, dadgum. My Google Sheets needs an update. That segue was almost really good, but then it turned out to not be. This is the reason why. Basically, once we started working with the outlier company and getting their trade ideas like up almost instantaneously 27%, and I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. So we'll continue to work this strategy. So first, we're going to look at the outlier data, and the first thing we do is go to their webpage and pull the buy and sell signals, which I've already done. There's only a handful of buy signals today and a good lot of sell signals. I'm still going. This is just today. So all of these are just today. Then the next step is to drop that into the relative strength scanner. So, or the outlier scanner, I should say. So I have already done that, but I'll do that with you as an exercise in what to do. So we're going to take this group here. These are all the buys. These are all the sells. The green ones are highlighted because as I've been checking this today, those have been set up for entry. Edit, pay special values. We're going to do it together. It's only going to take a moment. These are all the longs, finishing at IYH. Victor, good to see you. Good afternoon, my friend. Okay, NTRA is green. So let me put that one on. That's a long for NTRA. The rest of them are shorts. So let's pull 36. That's what the spreadsheet's designed to handle. Edit, pay special values. And while that runs, let me tell you real quick what it's doing. It is looking at the price direction in the trend, high trading volume, and the relative strength to the market. We need to have all those moving in our direction or in order to get in. Brian, good afternoon, my friend. And we're going to eliminate anything that's not set up for entry. So going through this list here, we have things like Crocs, which my kids love to wear, EDU, JWN, NTLA, which all of these are marked on my list over here, and then Stag. Then we're going to take the next group, run those through, edit, pay special values. I'll tell you one thing with this new strategy. It's more work on me ahead of time, but I like it because I get to start working on it like 7:30 in the morning. Because I like to work early. So I get everything basically all set up for the day early in the day. And then we've got WSM and KBE, all of which I marked on here. So we are going to change that color real quick so I can filter on just those. So these are the only ones that pull through from that long list that pass with our specific criteria. Edit, pay special values, delete all the extra, change this one to long. And this will be our list. Let's come back to that in a second. Next, we're going to do a quick glance at liquidity. All we want to see is there enough open interest to even entertain these trades? And NTRA is no longer, it looks like, but we'll at least take a look. So NTRA first, and we got to look at calls on this one. There's nobody home. So NTRA is off the list. Crocs. So we need puts on this one. Now there is a little bit of put liquidity here. There is. That was not there earlier on in the day. That's interesting. Okay, we'll come back to Crocs. Next is EDU. You know what that tells me? If there's liquidity now or there wasn't. Oh, same with EDU. If there's liquidity now or there wasn't, that means some people are also picking up on this. JWN. Yeah, we got some here. Good. NTLA. So there's not any for NTLA, so we'll delete that. Stag. There's not enough here. Delete. WSM. Oh, there it is. There's nobody here. And I'm going to the monthlies, so this should have the most activity of everybody, so I'm not even having to worry about the other strikes. And then KBE. There is plenty of liquidity here. So we're down to 4 short opportunities right now. I'm going to take those and drop them in my Benzinga list, which I believe they may all already be there. No, they're not. Okay. But we're going to backtest them real quick. So the next step, we've already looked at liquidity. The next step is the double backtesting. So we want to see trend spider backtest first because that goes fast. So JWN, strategy tester. Outlier theory short, run. Positive, wow, positive 73%. That's tremendous. I didn't know that. KBE, positive 11%. KRE, as I mentioned at the top of the stream, does have a positive expectancy. So that's what we need to see. Like I said, I mentioned yesterday I made a mistake on the back test, but it's good to go. Okay, Crocs has a negative 45%. We don't want that. EDU has negative 80%. We don't want that either. Bam. All right. So we're left with just JWN and KBE. So that didn't take long. Next, JWN and KBE. I went through and I manually updated the information from here. All of the buy and sell signals. All the buy and sell signals on here. And this is in the green, moving toward the pink, which is what we want to see. So JWN looks good from that perspective. And on the back test, it had 5 out of 7 winners with an 11% average winner or average trade, which is pretty amazing. Next was the next one, KBE. KBE is another bank ETF. So if you are already in KRE and you don't want additional bank exposure, keep that in mind. I don't mind it because they're small positions. So KBE, 5 out of 6 winners with a 10.2 average winner. Those are kind of crazy. But we have them both passing on here. They have positive expectancy for both back tests. So we're going to move on to the next section, which is just our final checks. Stop loss. Is the MACD already crossed over? We need to double check that. Reason being is because that is going to be one of our potential stop loss points. And this is good to go. Next is JWN. That's good to go. What was the other one? It was KBE. KBE. We want to check that the outlier does not show an overbought or oversold position color here. And it is in the green, moving to pink. But I just remembered a moment ago, I even said it at the top of the stream. We got to check what we have on first before we move on to the next part, right? Are these ready to turn over? Are these ready to get out? Let's look at PIN first. PENN. PIN, I think it used to be called PIN National Gaming, but it's PIN Entertainment now. So shorting this yesterday afternoon, 24.35. Now it's almost $1 at this point, which is great. If and when it hits the 23.40, we will roll this down. So we'll roll this down. What are we in right now? PIN. We're in the July 21st, 27.5 puts. We'll roll this down, and this will look like 27.5, probably down to the 25. Taking $2 in credit, which is crazy. Because what did we buy it for yesterday? We bought it for $3.30. So when you roll it down for $2.15 and you paid $3.30 to get into the trade, that means you keep the trade on and you've taken 60-something% of the profit like now, and you only have $1.15 in risk left. That's why we roll these down, because it keeps them alive and you get capital back immediately, which is really cool. But we're going to not worry about that right now. It is closing in, but we're going to let it, it hasn't reached the ATR point yet. MACD is still good. And from the outlier perspective, actually, let me do this. The planned exit points are MACD crossback, 2 times ATR from entry, which neither of those are happening. MACD still down, 2 ATR for entry. And the short exit will when it goes to this color in outlier, or if it goes from pink back to green, or if the shading starts getting more green, and none of that is happening here. Next, let's go to KRE next. KRE has been really good as well. This one, as you can see, did kiss through, or I guess wick through the 1 ATR point earlier on in the day. Same thing. If this closes below, we'll go ahead and roll it down and just let it continue to work for us. But right now, the 2 ATR points way up here. The MACD is not crossed over. And on the outlier exit point, it is in the green, moving to the pink, and still moving in the direction that we need to see. So no change there. XLK, last one. And this is the one I told you I did put on after the stream ended yesterday. It does have a bit of extrinsic value. In fact, let me take a look at it right now. I'm not planning on closing this. I'm just trying to show you what strike we have. That's XLK. That's what we're on. XLK 171 puts. So the extrinsic value is probably even higher right now. 235 over 345. That's 68% right now. Like I say, not great. Follow at your own risk. But this one was definitely set up from every direction, and I didn't want to miss that opportunity. The MACD is still crossed down. The 2 ATR point isn't even close. And XLK. And what we see here is it is in the green, moving toward the pink, and still looks fine from that perspective. So everything that we have on right now can stay. So let's do our final checks on JWM. Oh, funny story. So this week, my younger son is at, they call it Twilight Camp, but it's an evening camp for scouts. And so I've been walking around, following his group and helping out with his group. And one of the other dads in the group works at Nordstrom and their like headquarters. And we're about to short Nordstrom. So I thought that was kind of funny. I can't wait to tell him the next time I see him. Let's do our final checks real quick. Outlier color for JWN. Is in the green, so that looks good. From green moving into pink. MACD is crossed down. So those were our final 2 checks. so we're ready to go on JWN. Let's go ahead while we got a second. Look at KRE just to double check as well. This one is in the red for the MACD. KBE. Is in the green, moving to pink. So all that looks good. All right, so ready to rock and roll on those two. Let's go first to, we'll go to KBE first. We open up on the business account as well. KBE. All right, so we're looking at July 21st puts. Let's look at open interest first. Oh my gosh, as much as you could want. Remember the calculation for your position size, because you want to make sure you get a appropriate position size. KBE. And then let's take a look. I'm looking at either one of these. The extrinsic on, that's about 20% right there. This is a little less, so we could actually go with this one. What's the delta on this one? 73, that'll do. Generally it's around 80, so 73 makes sense. So get the right position size for your account. And I'm gonna go ahead and enter this on my other screen in the business account, the KBE July 21st, 37 puts. And remember, if you took the KRE trade, this is a similar ETF to that. So if you don't want double exposure to the financial sector, then this may be one you want to skip. Working the order right now. I just put it in for 213, moving it up to 215. Oh, this is kind of running, isn't it? 218. Okay, I'm in. My average fill price was 218. Okay, so let me drop that in the Discord real quick. 6/22/23 trade number 1 bought KBE 7/21/23 37 puts for $2.18 when trading at 35.28. All right, one down, one to go. Give you just a second here. KBE July 21st, 37 puts for $2.18. All right, next was, what was the next one? JWN. All right, looking at the, let me talk slower. Looking at the July 21st puts, same story. Be sure you have the correct position size for your account. This is where everybody's at. Everybody's on the 20 strike, and that's where we need to be. Let's check the extrinsic value. 20 cents on 208. That looks great to me. And let me go into the business account and get that filled. So this is JWN, July 21st, 20 puts. Get your position size. Here's the calculation if you need it. That's calculating on the other screen. Okay. And JWN, July 21st, 20 puts. See if we can get filled. I'm going to start with 203. See what happens. All right, not filled at 203. Let's try 205. Okay, filled, average fill price, 205. And now it shows 203. Come on. If I had waited a second longer. All right, JWN, July 21st, 20 puts for 205. Let's do that again. Trade number 2. JWN, that same date, $20 puts for, I got filled at 205 when trading at, oh, what is the current price? 18.19. Cool. Rock and roll. That is what we're going to put on today. 2 new trades. So that gives us 5 total trades. Let's go through those again real quick. Short pin, short KRE, which is really close to rolling. Short XLK, short JWN, short KBE. KRE is so close. It's 9 cents off. Let's go ahead and roll it. All right, so you guys have not seen this in a hot while, but I'm glad we got a chance to finally do one of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to sell to close the first strike that we're already in. Then we're going to buy to open one closer to the money. Now you want to make this in one order. So if you have one contract, it's one contract, 5 contracts, 5 contracts. The idea here is just moving the position from one point to another, from one strike to another. This is still 29 days out, so we don't need to roll it out in time. We're just rolling it up. So let's go ahead and do that. And KRE. This is the 44 puts. So we're going to sell to close the 44 puts, buy to open the KRE, close position, 43 puts. And let's see what kind of credit we can get for that. Mine says that if we can get filled for 80 cents credit, that is a profit of $95 per contract, which is pretty awesome when it was only, how much was it per contract yesterday? KRE was only $3 per contract. So we're basically taking in 30% right now. So KRE, July 21st, sell to close the 44, rolling it up to the 43. Let me double check the volume and everything, or the open interest. Oh yeah, we're good. The extrinsic value is 52 over 330 is not quite 20%, which is fine. Yeah, sounds good. All right, I'm going to try and get that filled right now. See if I can get it filled for. Yeah, it's within just a few cents. Might as well do it right now. Okay, so this was filled at 78. All right, let me put this on here real quick. Rolling the KRE trade up, taking in profits. So sold to close the 7, 21, 23, 44 puts, bought to open the 7, 21, 23, 43 puts, took in a credit of, so I got filled at 78 cents on the trade. Okay, very cool. So we keep the trade alive, and at the same time, we have just booked some profits, which is pretty damn sweet. I love booking profits. So that is good to go. So that's going to be all the trading today. And this was quite a lot today. But you know what? As you can see, I'm liking the strategy. I mean, we just put KRE on yesterday, and now we're rolling it up and taking in profits. So this is great. Let's move into our final thoughts. So this is one of my favorite accounts, as you know. Money Trade Edge. Trading is a game. Man, how many times have you heard me say that? You got to treat trading like a video game, right? Got to treat trading like Mario. I don't know why, but YouTube was recommending me Mario speedrun videos over the weekend. And back in college, I had the Nintendo Wii, and you could download the original Mario game and play it on the Nintendo Wii. And so I had that, you know, do you remember the Wii, like, nunchuck remote, right? You turn it sideways and you can play it like the old school NES controller. And man, I spent hundreds of hours trying to speedrun it, you know, under 5 minutes. And I could definitely beat the game, but I could never beat it under 5 minutes. But there were a few key things that you need to know as a player. You need to know some things like the rules, right? Know, especially when you're speedrunning, where your edge lies in those speed runs, right? And the systems, right? And that's all part of the attack portion of the game. Then there's the defense portion of the game, right? If you're running through speedrunning Mario and you see the turtles coming at you, you're ducking and diving and jumping in, right? And then you're looking for those stars, right? To give you infinity power or whatever. But in the process of doing that, you're managing your risk, because you know You only got 3 lives, and then you start the entire game over. That kind of sucks, right? You don't want that to happen when you're trading. You don't want to lose 3 trades and start the entire thing over, right? You got to have your plans. How are you going to do this? How are you going to stay in the trade? How are you going to get out of the trade? What are your targets? What are the things you're looking for? Not necessarily profit targets, but what are the things you're looking for? What do you want to see before you take the trade off? And then lastly is balancing all of this with your emotional control, right? How many times have you taken your controller and chucked it across the room when it didn't go your way, right? But you still had the discipline to come back and you're like, oh, okay, I didn't win that time, but I'm gonna do it, right? And every time you did it, you developed more and more confidence. Learn the skills to win the game. I thought this was a great post. So I loved this one. I shared it. I retweeted it. I bookmarked it, and I'm sharing it with you here today. Thank you all so much for coming to today's 10-minute trading room. I hope this was useful, and I hope that you are enjoying these outlier trades as much as I am. This is great. This is the best I've seen in, gosh, it's been over a year since we've really had some good movement in the market, and being able to surf along with those waves. Thank you all so much for coming today. I will see you right back here tomorrow. Talk soon.
Hey, by the way, don't forget, you need to get the Bullish Power cheat sheet. And it's totally free over at 10minute